You are led into a windowless room and told to undress. Everything, completely naked. You stand in front of three people in uniform, and one of them puts on a glove. You raise your arms. You open your mouth. You turn around. You bend over. For 22 years, you haven't shown yourself naked to anyone but your wife. And now you're standing in front of a stranger in latex, and he's examining you like a veterinarian examines livestock. Inside, you feel a dull, dense rage, and you stand there, your legs trembling not from fear, but from the fact that your whole body wants to turn around and lash out, and you know you won't, and that makes it even worse. They lead you away naked. A room with lamps and the hum of machines. Along the wall, 15 people are kneeling, naked, their hands behind their backs in plastic ties, their heads bowed. You stand in line. The guard grabs you by the top of your head, runs the clippers from your forehead to the back of your neck, shakes your hair onto the floor, and moves on to the next person. A conveyor belt. The person in front of you flinches and gets a baton to the ribs and goes for a second round. Someone to your left sobs. Another guard yells, and the sobbing stops. You don't sob. You clench your jaw so hard that it will hurt for 2 days. Then, the hose. An icy jet with such force that it knocks you back a step, and you brace your feet against the concrete to keep from falling. It lasts 10 seconds. When it ends, your skin stings as if it had been rubbed with sandpaper. They throw you a uniform. A white t-shirt, white knee-length shorts, white socks, rubber slippers. The fabric reeks of bleach, not the kind used to clean floors, but the kind used to disinfect. You get dressed, and they lead you out into the corridor, the guard's hand pressing down on the back of your head, and all you can see is the floor. Gray concrete shoes, the slap of flip-flops ahead. You walk without knowing where you are going, because there are no windows here, and you lost your bearings outside when they dragged you off the bus and ran you across the courtyard bent double. The ceiling of the corridor is 7, maybe 8 meters high. You manage to notice this when the guard takes his hand away for a second to open the door. High, empty, echoing. Then, bars. Steel bars from floor to ceiling, thick as your wrist. Behind the bars, people. Lots of people. Maybe 80, maybe 100. Wearing the same white t-shirts and shorts. Shaven. Some of them look at you. Most of them don't. The bars open, you are pushed inside, the bars close. The lock clicks. And that's it. You stand there. The cell is long and narrow, with 4 tiers of metal bunk beds. Nothing else. Bare metal. 2 toilets at the far wall. No partitions. 2 sinks. A cement tank with water. A plastic barrel for drinking water. That's it? Nothing else? No table, no chair, no shelf. The light is bright and strong, and you can see every detail, and every detail tells you the same thing. You're in deep shit. Someone on the top bunk is looking at you. He has a tattoo on his face. Letters that you recognize. Everyone in El Salvador knows those letters. You're not one of them. You're not anyone. You're a small-time fool who was tempted by money and did what you did, and you knew how it would end. And you can't lie to yourself here because there's nothing to distract you from the truth. But the scale around you is different. These people killed dozens, ruled neighborhoods, collected tribute from entire cities. To them, you're nobody. You're 22, you have a wife and a 3-month-old daughter, and you're standing in the middle of a cell in chlorine shorts with nowhere to sit. You don't sleep the first night. That is, the first few hours that you consider night. Because the lights don't go out and you can only tell it's night because most people have gone to bed. You are shown your place on the 3rd tier. A man with a tattoo covering half his face points upward and says one word, and you climb up, because words are not repeated here. Next to you lies a man of about 40 with the word 18 tattooed from his collarbone to his navel. He turns toward the wall and starts snoring a minute later. You lie on a steel strip, your shoulder blades pressed against the metal ribs, the light hitting your eyes, and you think, right now, at this very moment, your wife is feeding your daughter. Or maybe she's not. Maybe she's crying. Maybe she's already asleep. You don't know, and you won't find out. Because there are no phone calls here, no letters, no parcels, no visits. Yesterday morning you had breakfast with your wife, and now you're lying on a steel strip, and between yesterday and now there's a wall that can't be broken through. In the morning, if it is morning, something clatters in the corridor and everyone gets up, quickly. You don't have time to understand what's going on, but you get up too, because the only rule you've learned in your first few hours is do as everyone else does. Do it quickly. Don't ask questions. Food comes from outside. Plastic containers stacked in a pile are pushed through the bars. One of the prisoners, the one the others listen to, distributes them. Rice, beans, tortillas, coffee in a plastic cup, no spoons, no forks. Any cutlery is a weapon, the state has decided. You eat with your hands, dipping your tortilla in beans, and try not to think about the kitchen, your wife, the plate of chicken, the table where you sat just the day before yesterday. 30 minutes in the hallway. That's all you're allowed outside your cell per day. The corridor is huge, high-ceilinged, and in it you do exercises with the others, or stand against the wall, or listen to the pastor, also a prisoner, an evangelist who reads from the Bible, because the Bible is the only thing allowed here out of everything that has ever been printed. 200 per cell. After a month, you'll listen to him not because you believe, but because there's no one else to listen to. Then, back again. Bars. Lock. 23.5 hours until the next 30 minutes. The body gets used to it faster than the mind. After a week, you're already sleeping on metal without waking up from the pain in your shoulder blades. After 2 weeks, you stop flinching when the bars rattle. Who's the boss in the cell? Who's second in command? Who distributes the food? Who they don't touch? Who they can touch? You figured that out on the first day, because not understanding means not living to see the second. They don't touch you. You're quiet, small, no tattoos, no pretensions. To serious people, you're furniture. It's not offensive. It saves you. You learn to read the cell. If the guards come at an unscheduled time, it's a search. Everyone against the wall, mouths open, hands up, sit down. If someone is being taken away, keep quiet, don't look. If you hear a scream from the corridor, you didn't hear it. If the person who was taken away comes back with a different face, you didn't see it. There is a place here called La Isla, the island. Single cells, complete darkness, concrete slabs, food through a slot in the door. People come back from there silent, and for a while after that, you don't want to take a place on the bunk. You can count the days by shaving once every 5 days, by guard shifts, by 3 meals a day. You keep count, and it doesn't make it any easier but harder, because every new day is a specific day you've missed. Your daughter is 4 months old, then 5, then 6 months. You know that at 6 months, babies start to sit up, and she will sit up without you, and walk without you, and say her first word without you. Your body has dried up. You've always been small, but now your ribs are visible through your t-shirt. They don't give you meat here. They don't give you chicken, eggs sometimes, plantains sometimes. Mostly rice and beans, beans and rice, beans, tortillas, 3 times a day, every day, until you stop noticing the taste. The heat is constant, without breaks, without wind. There is no ventilation, no windows, and by midday the air inside the cell becomes so thick that it seems you could cut it with a knife. You get used to breathing shallowly. You get used to the smell, the sweat of 100 people, 2 open toilets, a cement tank where they wash in the morning, and by evening the water stinks. You get used to sleeping with the light on, which never goes out. You get used to never seeing the sky, the yard, the sun, the rain. All of that is left behind the wall, behind 2 walls, behind an electric fence, behind 19 watchtowers, and you don't know what time of year it is because here it's always the same. Hot, bright, cramped. You think about the envelope that was given to your wife and you calculate how long it will last. 2 months? 3? And then what? Your mother won't be able to help. Your sister earns pennies. Your wife with a baby won't be able to work for a long time. You lie on the 3rd tier and count other people's money, which has already run out, and it makes you want to bang your head against the metal, but you don't because they'll notice, and anyone who attracts attention goes to the island. They approached you a year and a half ago. Not on the street, at work at the warehouse in Soyapango, where you unloaded trucks 6 days a week for money that was enough to eat and pay for a room. A man from the neighborhood. The job is simple. Drive the car from point A to point B, don't ask what's in the back. One night, like 2 months at the warehouse, your wife is 5 months pregnant, your mother's ceiling is leaking. You figured that once is once. Once became 4 times, 4 times became 10 times. Then they asked you not to drive the car, but to talk to the debtor. You went, the debtor turned out to be arrogant, and you did what was expected of you. Then you felt sick in the car. When the gang was busted, an older, calmer man came to you. He said, "Take it on yourself. Don't panic. We won't abandon the family." The envelope was given to your wife before the trial. It was thick. You didn't know how much was in it. They pinned everything on you, and you didn't argue because the envelope was already with your wife and there was no turning back. And you thought the envelope was the settlement, a one-time thing. Thanks for not turning us in, and now we've forgotten about it. A year passes, then another 6 months. You count the days, and there are already more than 500 of them, and each one is the same. Beans, rice, tortillas. 30 minutes, bars, light, metal. Your daughter is a year and a half old, and you don't know what color her eyes are because at 3 months they were still changing. You don't know if she talks, if she walks. You don't know if your wife is waiting for you. And that's the scariest question you ask yourself, because there is no answer and there never will be. And you lie on the 3rd tier and stare at the ceiling, and the ceiling doesn't answer. And then the news comes. How it gets there. You won't remember later, because there are things that are better not to remember for everyone. A new person in the cell, one of those who were transferred from another prison. He knows someone who knows someone. 2 words in the corridor during the 30-minute break. They tell you, your wife and daughter are in their own house in Antigua, Cuscatlan. You used to unload trucks for $350 a month. Your wife now gets $1,500 on the 1st of every month. Your mother no longer lives in a room with a leaky ceiling. She has her own house. Your sister got a job at a logistics company for $1,000 a month, 3 times more than she's ever seen in her life, and they don't hire anyone without a call. You're standing in the hallway and you have 30 minutes, and for 29 of those 30 minutes, you're standing there and you can't breathe. Because for a year and a half, you've been living with one image. The envelope is empty. Your wife and daughter are with your mother. Your mother is supporting everyone. Your sister is working for pennies, and everything is falling apart, and you can't help because you're here on the steel strip in white shorts, and nothing depends on you. You built up anger from this, and anger helped. But now anger doesn't work, because the people who put you here have done more for your family than you could ever do in a lifetime at the warehouse in Soyapango. Antigua, Cuscatlan is a neighborhood that people from Soyapango don't go to, ever, under any circumstances. Your daughter will grow up in a place where children go to school, not join gangs. You go back to your cell. You lie down on the 3rd bunk. The light is on. Next to you, a man with 18 tattooed from his collarbone to his navel is snoring. Everything is the same. But you lie there and feel something you didn't expect to feel here. Gratitude. To people whom the normal world considers monsters. To people who kill, trade, and collect tribute from entire cities. They kept their word. They did not forget. And through the same person, through the same chain that is better not to remember, they pass on something else to you. They tell you, wait. They will get you out. No one gets out of here, but you will. And you believe them because they have already proven themselves. The envelope was not a payment. It was the beginning. They kept every word they said. And you lie on the steel strip, and the light hits your eyes, and you believe.